Greetings, friends. This is Mark David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. I hope you are doing well today. Thank you for being here. Thanks for coming by. I super appreciate you. I super appreciate your time, your energy, your attention. And I am going to be speaking to you today about timeless coaching techniques. Specifically, I'm going to be talking about trusting the present moment. I'm going to dive into that, and there's some useful distinctions in there. I'm going to give you some practical examples. And this conversation is going to be for anyone who is into the helping professions, is interested in being a coach, who already is a coach, or if you're simply a human being who just likes to help others and loves to assist people in their transformational journey. And if you're a human being on planet Earth, you're always communicating and interacting with people anyway. So it's good to have a few tricks up your sleeve. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just talk to you for a couple of minutes before we officially dive in. I'm going to just wait for people to hop on. So while we're waiting, in the meantime, if you wouldn't mind, in the comments section just below, say hi. Let me know where you're from. So that helps me kind of get a sense of you and interact with you and connect with you. So comment section just below, just say, hey, how you doing, Mark? I'm from, and wherever you are geographically. That would be so helpful. You could also push the likes and the loves and send some of that my way as well. And I also want to let you know, before I officially dive into the topic of the timeless coaching technique of trusting in the present moment, that we are preparing right now. We have our Eating Psychology Coach certification training is going to be starting soon, early in 2017. Our winter training begins. So if you're interested in that, Eating Psychology and Mind Body Nutrition certification training, that is our 8-month online training that certifies you to be an Eating Psychology and Mind Body Nutrition coach. And in fact, what I'm going to be talking about today is just a tiny bit of what we do in the training. We really dive in. Oh, goodness. So appreciate Yari, you coming by. Wendy, thanks so much. Kamala, I think I pronounced your name right. Brianna, hello, in Colorado, right around the corner. And Leanne from Australia, so glad you're here. Anna Paula from Brazil, yay. And Renee, thanks for coming by. I so appreciate it. I so appreciate you being in this conversation with me. Hello, Yvonne, Northern Ireland. Isn't that amazing what social media can do for us? We are all in a conversation from all around the world together. Hello, Brooke in Minnesota, but hoping to move back to Colorado soon. It's a good place, I gotta say. So, I love coaching. I love working with people. I love working with people when it comes to food and health and body and all the interesting challenges thereof. That's how I grew up, with my own health challenges, my own eating issues. And as I've been able to help myself, in the earlier part of my life, it really inspired me to want to do this work professionally. So I am on it in our training. I am on it as a practitioner and in general about what helps us get people to where they want to go fastest. What helps you and I as helping professionals, or as helping humans, helping another person. How can we use the best tools with the least amount of energy and hit the target? That's kind of what I'm always looking for. It's, why go down a road and take a long time to get there? So timeless coaching tip, trusting the present moment. What does that even mean, trusting the present moment? Here's what I want to share about that. And this is a life lesson. This is a coaching lesson. So often you're with a client, they're presenting their issues, they're presenting their challenges, they're presenting their problems, they're giving you all their symptoms, they're telling you everything that doesn't work, and you're collecting all this information, and you're asking questions, and it's easy for us in our mind as the helping person, helping professional, to either step into the past, and I'll tell you what that means in a moment, or jump into the future. Stepping into the past would be something like, oh my God, I have to help this person, because if I don't help this person, then from what I understand, when you don't help somebody, then they're going to be upset with you. They're not going to come back. I'm going to lose a client. And all of a sudden, we're not trusting in the present moment. The moment actually, hello, Manuela from Luxembourg. I love that. I'm so glad you're here. So we actually get pulled out of our experience and we make the moment about me, the helping professional. I have to perform. I have to do something well. I have to say something smart. So we're operating on kind of past conditioning, fears of I have to show up a certain way. And we're inside of our own mind worried about how we are going to perform. And it takes us out of connection with our client. Or we can go into, oh my goodness, I need to help this person. Maybe I should do this with them. Maybe I should do that with them. Oh my God, I don't know what to do, but if I try this. And the mind is busy thinking about how we're going to fix the person. Understandable, because maybe that's part of our job. You want to help your client. But there's a place where we get out of our center when we start worrying about the goal, when we start worrying about exactly what I'm going to do and not let the moment unfold. Hello, Priya Arjun from Dubai. I love that name. So the present moment has magic. And sometimes we got to hang in there with somebody. Because oftentimes coaching is about being with someone in their life, in the session, in the moment, as things are unfolding. Because if I'm busy stuck in my head, I'm going to miss the little cues. I'm going to miss the little things that clients are saying to me that add up and that are pointing me in a direction that would be helpful. Let me give you an example. And this has happened to me so many times. A woman came to see me years ago, and she comes in for the session, and she sits down, and we start doing the process, and I'm taking notes and asking questions. And about a few minutes into the session, she stops me and she says, "Listen, I'm a 55-year-old woman." And she said, you don't look like you're more than 30. I was probably like 38 or something like that. And she said, "What do you know about a menopausal woman?" She said, I can't even believe I'm here. She said, "This doesn't make any sense to me." And she's kind of putting up all these hurdles. And of course, inside myself, my initial response is, wait a second, I'm a smart guy. I know things. I've worked with menopausal women before. And part of me wants to go into defensiveness. If I'm trusting the present moment, everything that happens in a session is good material. This is what I mean. Everything, I don't care how awful it seems in the moment, everything that's happening in a session with a client is good material, is useful material. In fact, even if it's scaring you what they're saying or it's crazy what they're saying, it's actually something that is so useful and so juicy. So instead of resisting her resistance, I thought, you know something? I said to her, "You've got a good point. You're right. There is a place where I know nothing about menopausal women because I'm not a woman and I'm not menopausal. So I totally understand, and I'm completely willing to let the session go. I'm so sorry. But in fact, what I do want to say also is this. I'm not a menopausal woman, but I've worked with a lot of menopausal women in my time, and honestly, I find it really fascinating, and I find it interesting, and I love it." And I said, being a man and being a guy, I get to observe you, observe women in your age group, observe women who have the kinds of concerns and challenges you have. I get to observe it from this different perspective. So even though I'm not like you, I might have some good information for you that you might not get from a typical peer. And I said, I'm so confident and I really feel good about this that let's just do the session. And if at the end of the session, if this experience doesn't work for you, you could have it for free. I'm totally fine with that. I won't ask any questions. I completely respect your concerns. They totally make sense to me. So what I did, my friends, is I made her right. I didn't resist her resistance because the truth is she got a good point. Now, if my ego was involved, I would have said, "Oh my God, no, what are you talking about?" Susan Payne, thank you for dropping by. So needless to say, the session went fabulous. She learned a lot. I learned a lot. we ended up having such a beautiful synergy together. Turned out to be a great counselor client relationship. There was so much trust there. I trusted her to say what she was truly feeling, what was truly going on for her. She trusted me for the same reason, because I was being honest with her and I wasn't trying to stop her experience, i.e., I was trusting the present moment. See, a lot of times we're in a situation, we're in a conversation, we're with a client, and it's easy for our concerns and our tensions to build. And it's easy for the practitioner to get in their head. Hello, Joan. By the way, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I'll be able to address it for you. And I do appreciate if you're hopping onto the call, feel free to say hi, let me know where you're coming from. I'm talking about timeless coaching tips. I'm talking about trusting the present moment. A lot of times we have to freshen up the moment. And you know this. You have times during your day where if you do one thing, you just step outside, take a couple of deep breaths, you freshen up the moment, or you just put on a favorite song all of a sudden. You kind of reboot and you freshen up the moment. You know, I used to have, when I was in graduate school many, many moons ago, a meditation teacher. Well, he was a teacher of a lot of different things, but I was taking a meditation class with him, Dr. Robert Greenway. And this one meditation class, we would be meditating for 2 hours. To me, that's insane. You know, probably I'd never meditated for more than 15 or 20 minutes. Like torture. And 2 hours? That makes no sense. So, you know, first it was just so grueling. And honestly, the whole thing was grueling to me. And he would do something every class. And the first time he did it, it blew my mind. And honestly, every time he did it, it blew my mind. We're sitting in silence for 2 hours. And then about 5 minutes before that 2 hours ends, at 1 hour and 55 minutes, he would ring a little bell very lightly. And he would say, okay, begin your meditation now. Begin my meditation now, meaning you're coming to the top of the mountain. It's been so grueling for you. Wait a second. Little bell. Start now. You got 5 minutes left. Start now. And all of a sudden, instead of that last 5 minutes becoming intense and a struggle, I would smile and go, oh, wow, look at how much I was struggling in that journey. Because a lot of times the mind just ends up in its struggle, especially when we are putting ourselves in the position of looking to serve another, looking to help another person. It is so easy for us to just spin our wheels, as opposed to clear out, empty the mind. There's times when I'm with a client, I'm trusting in the present moment. I'm not trying to do anything or fix anything or pretend to the other person, my client or myself, that I know the answer. Because there's plenty of moments I don't know the answer. So I don't give an answer. And I don't even worry about it. Anna Paula, how to help clients that are so busy they claim not having time even for a simple breathing exercise. Ooh, love that question. How to help clients and not even have enough time for a simple breathing exercise. I'm going to tell you this. Here's how I would help that client. I would tell them, you have enough time to do some of the simple things that you know you need to do. It's just about learning how to make that time. Because a simple breathing exercise, I'm sorry, that's 2-3 minutes. Anyone has 2-3 minutes. Anyone could borrow 2-3 minutes, steal 2-3 minutes, do it in the bathroom, do it in bed before you get up in the morning. A lot of times what happens is our clients will prove to us why. They will prove to us why they can't move forward. They will argue for either their insecurities, or they will argue for their resistances, or they will argue for their blockages. So I would look my client straight in the eye and go, listen, you have to learn how to unbusy yourself and value time and work time in a whole different way. You know, my style with clients, I'm super loving and accepting of my client. I don't have a need to change my client and make them weigh a certain amount, or I don't need my client to stop binge eating or stop overeating or love their body for me to love them more. Hello, Miss Lindsay. Hello, Cher. So what I'm saying is that at the same time, because I'm unconditionally accepting my client, that's my baseline. So when a client comes in, I'm not going to love them anymore when they lose weight, when they get where they want to go, when they feel more perfect, when they have more energy, when their digestion's better. So from that place, I am now free to be real with them. I'm free to be honest with them. And I think that's one of the challenges in the helping professions, in the coaching universe, is that coaches and helping professionals, we often think we have to sit in this ivory tower. We have to know more than people. We have to speak down to them and tell them what to do and show them how we're going to fix them. And really what it is, on one level, you're like a professional friend. You're a professional mentor, you're a professional cheerleader, you're a professional teacher, all those wrapped into one. And you pull those little pieces out, you pull those personas out in the moment, depending on what's needed. And I don't have to worry about challenging my client on something, i.e. saying to my client, because when who was it, Anna Paula was saying, how do you help a client who claims to not have time for a simple breathing exercise? I'm verbally spanking my client for even saying that, because it's nonsense. Really, anyone could find 2 or 3 minutes. I'm sorry. Anna Paula says, love the perspective that clients argue for their insecurities. Yeah, I'm not standing for it. I don't. That doesn't mean I'm against my client. That means I love my client. That's what that's about. Part of it is we have to so remember that the moment, again, I want to say this, the moment has magic. Your session with a client, not every session is going to be magical. But I come in with the attitude that every session can be magical, or it can have special moments. There can be insights happening. So I'm creating space. I'm allowing for that magic to happen no matter what shows up. I got to tell you a story. This was probably one of my most potentially worst moments, embarrassing moments as a helping professional, as a coach. This happened many, many, many moons ago. I was working with a lady who was trying to lose about 120 pounds. So this was a big lady, and she legitimately had about 100 plus pounds to lose. This is a woman who has tried everything. Kim says that's a great time to seize on working through their resistance. Absolutely. And one of the ways we help people work through their resistance is us not being resistant to their resistance. Us allowing it, going, yeah, that's your resistance. Because the more you go up against somebody's resistance, the more their resistance is going to fight you back. And I'm talking about in a coaching scenario. I'm talking about with your husband, your wife, your kids, your dog, whatever it is, for the most part. So here's this woman, sweet lady, smart lady, motivated woman. And we probably had now, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 sessions together. And there's a lot of trust there. There's some good things starting to happen. So she comes in, I'm going to say it's about her 5th session. And we're sitting in my office and we're talking. And I had a big office space. And all of a sudden, something very unpredictable happened. I could never have seen this coming in my mind. And it was like, I'm remembering it now as if it happened yesterday. All of a sudden, the chair that this woman, who's trying to lose 120 pounds, the chair she is sitting on, slowly starts to break and collapse in slow motion. Literally. And I could hear the wood splitting. And I'm looking at her, and I could see the look on her face as she realizes what's happening, as I realize what's happening. And it's all happening in this slow motion way. And the chair collapses under her weight. She's on the floor. And part of me is in absolute shock. And there's so many thoughts going through my head in the moment. And probably in a split second, there's hundreds of thoughts like, oh my God, this is awful. Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And I follow my own commandments when I'm in a session. And I'm thinking to myself, no, I'm going to go with this moment. So I literally got off my chair because she's on the floor, sitting on top of a pile of wood. And I get on the floor and I'm sitting on the floor and I sit and I look her in the eye and I said to her, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first thing that was said. I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine this has to be an embarrassing moment for you. You know what she said to me? She looked at me. She said, that's so strange you would say that. She says, I was thinking that this must be a terribly embarrassing moment for you and how awful you must feel. And I said to her, and there was silence for a second, and one of the challenges, hello, Gabby Rodriguez, thank you for coming by. One of the challenges that she had in relationship in her life is she's always taking care of other people. And that happens to a lot of us. We get this thing where we have to take care of others, and that's our first move. And especially a lot of times, not for everyone who has weight to lose, but if people are insecure about their body, the way they deal with that insecurity, especially if it's overweight, is like they be like the good, helpful person that's always giving to everybody and giving and giving and giving. And here we are, we're on the floor. And I've said, there's you taking care of other people again. I said, like, what if you weren't taking care of me right now? What would you say? Meanwhile, she's still sitting on top of this chair and we both start laughing. And we both start cracking up. And she said to me, how could you give me a chair like this? It's tiny. It's not constructed well. You should have known better. And I said, you're right. And she got angry. And then we laughed again. And there was such a sweetness to it. It turns out that she said that was potentially one of the most embarrassing things that could happen to her as a human being if she would have imagined it beforehand. And she said going through it, the way we did it, the way we worked it out, kind of the silliness of it all, the way we played with it, was so helpful for her. Certainly helpful for me. If you're in practice, if you're in professional practice, it's a practice. We're practicing. So what I'm saying is we together turned a moment that could have been very bizarre, strange, weird, embarrassing into something good and something juicy. Once again, because we're not resisting the moment, we're trusting the moment. I, as the practitioner, I'm trusting in the moment and looking for the gold in the moment. By the way, if you're just coming on, say hi in the comment section below. Let me know where you're coming from. Feel free to make a comment about what we're chatting about. And if you have a question, you can ask it as well. We are here as practitioners to serve our clients for sure. We're here to help them break through. So many people, they hit a point, why they come to us as professionals. People get stuck. You and I get stuck. I get stuck. My client gets stuck. How do we unstick ourselves? How do we move energy forward? Hello, Miss Beth. Who are you? That's a great question, Beth. Philosophers have been asking that question for millions of years. But who are we? I'm Marc David, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. I am talking about, hello, Maria from Bulgaria. I'm talking about timeless coaching tips that you can use as a coach, as a helping professional, as a human being who works with other humans. I want to give one more brief example, and then we'll start to wrap up, talking about trusting in the present moment as a way to be a very, very effective practitioner. Again, I'm saying there's magic in the moment. I'm a big believer in magic. Hello, Miss Laura Burkett. I'm so glad you're here. Hello, Beth. Hello, Kim. Motivational interviewing can be a great tool. Ask them what is it they want. So simple but powerful. Yes. So many of the questions, and we do this in our eating psychology coach and mind body nutrition certification training. We have all these great intakes and questionnaires. You're not giving your client a bunch of papers. You're asking them, you're listening, you're interacting with them directly, because the interview or the questioning process is by itself transformational. It's not just about gathering data. the actual questioning process, if you do it right, by itself is transformational. By itself moves the client forward. By itself helps them discover. Oh, Serene, love the training so far. Thank you so much. Hey, by the way, feel free if you're an eating psychology coach and you've graduated, or if you're in the training, identify yourself. So one more brief example. A woman comes to see me and she has digestive issues. And this is a woman who's in her late 40s. She's married. Her kids are actually off to school, pretty much grown. She's professional, sharp lady, smart. And for years, she has been trying to fix her digestion. And here she is coming to see me. And, I start asking her questions and I'm doing an intake. And her demeanor was of the kind where she kept telling me, well, you're not going to be able to help me because I've seen this doctor, this specialist, that specialist. They did this. They gave me this kind of diet. I got this kind of testing. I did these kind of protocols. And I always ask my client what they've done to help themselves. Because if I'm going to be working with you on your digestion, I want to know what you've done. I want to be able to cross off the list everything you've done that's been unsuccessful, because that's smart. Because you want to save yourself a lot of time not doing the same thing that your clients already tried. That didn't work. Plus, in the questioning process, when you're asking a client what they've done to help themselves, and they start to list out and they talk to you about all the things that didn't work, for me, what they're doing is they don't know this, they're proving to themselves and to me why their strategies haven't worked. So when I give them something different to do that they haven't done before, if they resist, if they're not interested, if they're not open, I'm like, well, wait a second. Everything you've done hasn't worked. How do I know? You told me. So now I'm suggesting something different. That's how we do it. Brianna says, I have found that having clients express their why is great motivation for sustainable lifestyle changes. Beautiful. Joel says, okay, so here I am working with this client who is explaining to me why I am not going to be able to help her. And it was kind of annoying. I'm going to be honest with you. So I had to regulate my own experience because I'm going to trust in the present moment. And this woman is being so clear with me and kind of smacking me down about my questions. No, I've been asked that question before. No, I've gone in that direction. I've been tested for food allergies. Everything I said, she was smacking me down. And so finally I said, okay, trust the moment. I'm going to go with this. I said to her, you're probably right. Always going to make my client right. You're probably right. There's probably a place where there's a good chance that I'm not going to be able to help you. Why? Because you said so. Why? Because you've done all these things. You've seen the best of the best of the best. So there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to help you. But I am going to give it my best effort. I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve. Plus, my sense of you is that you're a smart lady, clearly. You're an intuitive person, clearly. You reach out to me. You set up an appointment. I'm going to go with your intuition. I'm going to assume for a moment that there might be something here. So what I would love for you to do is maybe just sort of come on this ride with me for a little bit. And I'm just noticing you're the kind of person that really throws up roadblocks. And like, is this normally you? Is this who you are? Or is it just with like people that you talk to about your digestion? So all of a sudden we're more connected. All of a sudden she likes me more because I'm meeting her. I'm acknowledging, gosh, you're a skeptical human. I'm saying it out loud because she is. and it's very present in the experience. So instead of resisting it, instead of fighting her skepticism, instead of me taking it personally like an ego hit, how dare you be skeptical of me? It's like, great, be skeptical of me. That's healthy. I understand. You've seen all these people, you've spent all this money, you haven't gotten results that you want. You have every right to be skeptical of the helping professions. So I'm allowing the present moment to dictate to me where to go and how to be. And from there, because I acknowledged her, her experience, what was happening, all of a sudden she becomes more cooperative. All of a sudden, she starts going back to questions that I asked her, that she gave answers to me, and she was filling in more information. There was a few questions she didn't quite answer honestly. I asked her a very simple question, which is one of the most powerful questions we ask a client in our eating psychology coach certification training. Are you a fast eater, a moderate eater, or a slow eater? Why is that such a powerful question? Because if you're a fast eater, and if you experience digestive issues, there's a darn good chance that those two are very connected, because the act of eating fast is a stressor for the human body. Human body is not designed to eat quickly. If you start eating food really fast, what your brain thinks is that, oh my God, he's eating fast, she's eating fast, must be a survival situation. Maybe he or she is being chased by a lion. Something's going on, because it takes time for the body to assess a meal, to scan the nutrient profile of the meal. The body wants time. So when we don't have time to eat, the brain registers it as a survival situation, as a stress response, fight or flight. And your fight or flight activity will start to grab the body. And literally what will happen is we can go into some degree of digestive shutdown, which then shows up as digestive distress of all different kinds: bloating, irritability, gas, constipation, diarrhea, whatever. Hello, Miss Holly. Yeah, Holly's a graduate of our program, listening to you for the last 25 minutes, and I'm nostalgic. Oh, you're so sweet. I'm so glad you're here. Good for you. So, hello, Yvonne. You don't have to emotionally eat as an adult when you acknowledge and accept that food does not equal love. Ah, such beautiful words. That is so true. So, my friends, we are here not only with our clients to be present with them and to trust the moment. This is a life skill. This is a skill that you use anywhere, anytime, because so many of us were trying to get out of the moment. In fact, when your client's with you, when they have their complaint about overeating or binge eating or emotional eating, or they don't like their body, they have a poor body image, or they don't accept the body that they're in now, they want to lose weight, whatever it is, that's a client who wants to get out of their moment. They want to be in a different time zone. They want to be the person that they want to be in the future, when I don't have these eating issues anymore, when they don't have this body that I don't like, when I have the body that I do like. Then in the future, I will be happy. Makes sense on one level, but the challenge is then we miss the beauty of life. Now we are not here. We are not present. That's the whole point of meditation. That's the whole point of goodness. Probably every halfway decent personal growth system, every religion, it's getting us here and how to be in our lives in a good way right now, as it is, so it works. That's our task. So my friends, I appreciate you. I appreciate being in this conversation with you. I'm on it about using social media and using this way of communicating and being with each other, so we could have a conversation that actually matters, that helps, move each other forward, helps move our clients forward. Thank you, Miss Joan. If you are at all interested, I would love for you to learn more about our eating psychology and mind body nutrition coach certification training. The next one will be starting early in 2017 in the winter. We're already starting to accept applications. We have students, an amazing group of students already from all around the world who have signed up and enrolled. So I would love for you to learn more. Email us at info@psychologyofeating.com, and our team will be happy to answer any of your questions. We could even get on the phone with you. So info@psychologyofeating.com, 8-month online training. You could take it from anywhere in the world. We're super excited about this. I've started the Institute, almost 11 years ago, and we've been doing some powerful work, some good work. Miss Lindsay, thank you for the love. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you all. I hope you learn more about us. And by the way, if this was helpful for you, you think it might be helpful for someone else, feel free to share it with them. That would be so great. And I look forward to connecting with you more. We're going to be doing lots of these. So it's a great way for us to stay connected, build community, share the wisdom, share the love. My friends, thank you so much. Have a great day and a beautiful weekend. You take care.